I define side hustles as something that you're passionate about and you enjoy doing, and you're making some income that you can use for, anything, paying down loans, paying down debt, investing, the vacation fund, whatever it might be.
I see so many PAs and NPs who are asking about side hustles or different businesses they can start or ways to get out of medicine altogether. If that's you, then you definitely want to watch this video today. I am interviewing a PA who has transitioned from clinical practice into her own very successful business. In fact, she started multiple businesses that have been successful. She has a lot of knowledge and she is going to give us some insights today, going to share some pointers and tips that she has, and also point you to some resources that can help you level up your finances and also help you find and start a business of your own.
Bingo!
Hi, I'm Kasey D'Amato. I am a PA. I don't practice clinically anymore, but I am a serial entrepreneur. I'm also a business advisor and an executive life and business coach.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Kasey. I am excited to talk to you and pick your brain about a few things. But before we dive into that, will you kind of give us a brief overview of what your career was as a PA and what led you into transitioning into business?
Yeah, I'd be happy to share. I graduated PA school back in '03 and I went straight into dermatology, which was great. I had a fantastic run in a great private practice in Santa Monica, California. And I learned a lot. I was the first PA in that practice. They were very hesitant about bringing on a PA, but it was great environment. They all were great teachers, and I went on to actually launch the aesthetic division there and grow that and attract high profile celebrity patients and lots of other high profile business people in the community in Santa Monica. And that's when I first got interested in business. Was my physician mentor kind of offered me the opportunity to get more involved in business management in the medical practice. And this practice was 6 providers, and it did between $4 and $5 million in gross revenue a year. And soon I earned the respect of the management and the practice owner, and I got more involved with decision making. So I got access to financial statements and how decisions were made. And this is when I started getting really passionate about business side of medicine and how it all worked. It was intriguing to me. And I started my first business venture, certified PA consulting, in 2009, between 8 and 9. And I started helping PAs understand the business side of medicine and how to negotiate more effectively for their salary structures, depending on the business model, and understanding the way the business owner thinks, or the hospital or the facility, and kind of positioning themselves to negotiate in a very different way, very different than looking at salary reports and our colleagues, but looking at the negotiation from a business perspective. And I started helping people navigate salaries. And then I went on a couple years later to start a skincare company. I started the first natural medical grade skincare company, raised some capital from outside investors, and partnered eventually with an international distribution and launched in Europe and South America. And eventually we sold that business in 2020. And now I help all business entrepreneurs. So I help PAs, I help NPs, I help physicians, I help non-medical, I help people understand negotiations and also understand how to start and grow a business. And that's what I do now. And I love it. I'm passionate to pay it forward, everything that I learned over the years.
I think that's awesome. I do think that many times PAs don't understand the whole business behind medicine. And so we are at a great disadvantage when we try to negotiate salary because we don't even really understand what the playing field is to begin with. I'm also excited because I know what we're going to talk about today. And as a serial entrepreneur and all the things you've done, that you have some good insights. But before I get there, one last question. Do you miss practicing clinically?
I do miss practicing clinically. No, I practiced from 2003 through 2020. So 17,
Okay.
almost 18 years. I practiced through a lot of my business ventures. I continued practicing really until COVID. Once the world shut down, it became very complicated logistically. So that I took a sabbatical that ended up being sort of a permanent sabbatical from clinical care. I love business because I do like the challenge of putting out fires and problem solving all the time. But I still have a secret sweet spot and soft spot for medicine, and why it's still a big passion for me to help medical providers advance their career trajectory, business trajectory, side hustle trajectory, right? And just help people find that ultimate career fulfillment.
You just talked about the one thing that I want to talk about today, and that is side hustles. I see people always asking, what are you doing for a side hustle? Because there's so many people that want extra income or even try to get out of medicine altogether eventually. But I want to ask you first, how do you define a side hustle?
For me, a side hustle is something that you're doing in addition to your full time job or your full time responsibilities. And you're doing something that is passion. You love it and is generating income for you that you can use for, I mean, anything, paying down loans, paying down debt, investing, the vacation fund, whatever it might be.
So, besides the obvious reasons like more money, what are some other things that you think are good reasons for people, especially PAs and NPs, to have side hustles?
That's a great question. Why I define side hustles as something that you're passionate about and you enjoy doing, and you're making some income. The income is sort of the secondary part because what I think people underestimate with side hustles is the power to continue to feel progress and to feel like you're contributing and you have a level of significance and autonomy and control that helps eliminate and avoid burnout. It doesn't have to be a business that you scale into something big or you do multiple businesses or anything like that. But as PAs and NPs and physicians, we all hit that ceiling where we start to burn out. And all of a sudden, it all just feels like a grind and a bit overwhelming. And a side hustle is a big solution to that. People underestimate the power because it checks all of those boxes with the revenue and the money part sort of being the icing on the cake.
Yeah, those are great reasons to start a side hustle. So, what do you think are some of the top side hustles that you know of that PAs and NPs do, or what are some things that you suggest or think are good side hustles?
Wow, the sky's the limit. I get asked all the time, what can we do as PAs? And I always say the same thing. Really, almost anything, unless it requires a further degree, like practicing law or, doing somebody's accounting and taxes. Those things are going to require additional degrees. But outside of that, you can do pretty much anything. Literally, the sky's the limit. We've worked with people from everything from getting involved with network marketing, which can be great to learn marketing skills. People that are a little timid about marketing, network marketing can be a great place to learn and springboard and then go and maybe do your own something else. That's one that's really common. Side hustles of teaching, that's a natural one, teaching at PA programs. Some people will do medical writing or expert witness, health coaching, chart reviews, right? These are still kind of integrated with medicine, but getting outside of that, sometimes people will get involved as advisors for biotech startups, Amazon affiliate marketing, all sorts of digital marketing. I actually just brought on some people on our team for PAs. One is a copywriter. She's a PA. So she's doing copywriting for companies and writing website copy and sales page copy and things like that. And it's just amazing what we can accomplish and what we can do. And we look at our colleagues, and we're like, that is so cool that you're following your passion. Look what you're doing in launching this entire YouTube channel. And these are not things we learn in PA school, right? And we're doing it. We're not limited. Like whatever we can creatively think of, just like you're saying, it's a creative outlet and there's nobody holding us back. So you can do as much or as little as you want.
Or just the side hustle itself being learning about your money, and I call it playing or learning
Yeah.
with trading or investing or whatever it be. I think that is something that people don't think about enough. Also, I think they think, oh, they got to go out and do something instead of just learning how to master the money that they have.
100%, 100%. We just actually launched a brand new program at Certified PA Consulting related to this because it's so important. And so many of us in medicine, we're not taught about money and we don't really totally know unless our parents taught us along the way. We're kind of like, okay, now what? Now we have this income. Maybe now we have the side hustle money. What do we do with it? How do you take that set income that you have from your primary income and your side hustle? How do you leverage it? Meaning, how do you invest it or utilize it so it's worth much more than just that specific dollar amount?
You said that's a course you guys already have, or you're about to launch.
Yeah, we have a brand new course right now. It's called the Wealth RX Academy. And it is a great, fantastic course. It's 6 weeks long, deep dive into everything from student loans. But if somebody already has their student loans paid off, that's just a small part. It's how to stop living paycheck to paycheck. It's how to create maximum wealth. There's modules in there on how to create millionaire net worth as a PA. So there's all sorts of different content. There's 6 weeks of content. It's a group coaching program. So we nurture people through the course. We have a great facilitator who created that course, who's a PA and became a millionaire before the age of 30. And he created that course and is hosting that and coaching other PAs. And we partnered with him at Certified PA Consulting. And we're very excited about the Wealth RX Academy and to help so many of our peers with these common problems that people have related to money, and use your income and your side hustle money and be smart so that you can set yourself up for maybe early retirement. There's a whole module about early retirement. So you learn all these different strategies in the program.
Yeah, I know that there are lots of PAs and NPs who would love to retire early for sure.
Yeah.
So, is there a discount? Is there something that we can offer my viewers who might be interested in joining this program?
Yes, we have a special discount set up for you. I wanted to make sure that your viewers get access to that. So they're going to get $50 discount on that program. So, and I definitely make sure we have all the links in there so that they know where to go and how to use that and take advantage of that.
And when is that starting?
So the registration just opened this week. So we have the early bird registration going on until the last week of July. And then it will be regular registration. And the course actually starts, I think August 14th is the date.
I imagine that if the timing doesn't work for them now, that you're going to offer this course
We will have it
repeated
again. So if the
Yeah.
timing doesn't work, just pop on the wait list so that you're the first to be notified so that you can take advantage of early bird pricing in the future rounds. We don't have the next date exactly on the schedule. We're going to try to offer at least twice a year this program. Everything is recorded. So if you can't catch the weekly live sessions, you can catch up really easily. So if you're on vacation one week or something like that, but you do want to be able to obviously attend majority of it because there's live office hours and all those, that kind of support.
And of course, if you're interested in this and you can attend, do it now.
Sooner you start, the better, because all of this investment, right, we're relying on interest and in certain strategies and rebudgeting and making some small tweaks to lifestyle or some decisions about where you're working. Maybe you want to negotiate, or maybe you want to plan exits and make changes. So some of those things are decisions that take a moment to digest as you're mapping out everything in this program. There's some decisions to be made. All of it is a process that's unique to each one of us. And, Wilson in this course walks everybody through the course so you can determine what's right for you. And then you'll start to put all those building blocks in place. So definitely the sooner the better if you're somebody who wants to build wealth.
Cool. Well, thank you for that discount for my viewers. And like I said, I'll have the links, down below. But let's get back to talking about side hustles, kind of a little tangent there, although that is, like I said, it can be a side hustle itself, just getting control of your money. So we said that there's a ton of different options out there. And another thing that I see is people kind of getting stuck. Like, I want to do something, but I don't know what the right thing to do is. And I don't know how to get started. Do you have any advice for people like that who are looking for the right side hustle to come along?
So usually I recommend that you think about sort of three things that you like to do, that you're passionate about, you find yourself organically reading about or perusing. It's not totally a hobby, but it's something you find yourself just reading articles on or perusing through the internet and checking out websites, or you're sort of intrigued by. So something that piques your interest in some way, and you find yourself, if you had to diary your time, you actually are reading about that topic or kind of curious about it. So something like that piques your interest, and then marry that to something else that you do have experience or skill set or have some expertise in. So, some people are very strong communicators, for example, and they're very comfortable with people, are very outgoing. So maybe you find yourself being interested in, landscaping, let's just say, and you're reading a lot about plants or something like that. But you're sort of a people person. So then, almost like your YouTube channel. Like, could you do a YouTube channel, or could you create an online course about landscaping and plants? As you're learning, you're documenting the process, and then you're teaching other people what you learned. So the things like that doesn't have to be in a digital stratosphere. It could be really anything, but it's something that is piquing your interest, that you're curious about. Maybe it's cooking. Maybe it doesn't have to be anything medical or technical. It can be creative. It can be writing children's books. One of our team members at Certified PA Consulting, she writes children's books and markets them. That's her creative outlet's fantastic. She works full time as a clinical PA. And so it's something that you find yourself doing, you're attracted to, you're interested in, and you also feel like you have some skill. Like she feels like she has a creative outlet that she wants to get her creative side out there, and she kind of married those two. So that's usually where I tell people to start when it comes to a side hustle, something that is piquing your interest, married with some other personal skill about your personality, and put those two together, and that's usually your answer for the side hustle. Start to identify those and talk to people, talk to lots of other PAs. There's lots of PAs out there with side hustles, more than people realize, and that can help you brainstorm and get ideas too when you're thinking about things you like and things you're good at, putting them together, and talk to lots of other people that'll also get your brain flowing and brainstorm a little bit, because they, like we were saying before, the sky is the limit.
Yeah. And one thing I think that people don't think about enough also is just putting yourself in that environment. Think about like when people were first interested in becoming a PA. I mean, what do? You read about it, and you go shadow. You may take some first aid courses or something to get you familiar with it. I think it's kind of the same way. Go immerse yourself in that world. Like we'll take the landscaping example that you gave earlier. Maybe you want to design landscapes.
Yeah.
Go talk to somebody who
Oh,
does it. Go shadow or volunteer, with a landscaper and kind of get an idea what
yes.
they do, or work at a nursery for a little while or something. And then once you're in that world, you understand where the money making opportunities are, and you can
A
figure it out
hundred
from
percent. 100%. You can even offer to your neighbors. I'm terrible with plants. I would pay if my neighbor was great with plants and said, "Hey, I'll do your flower beds and I'll do everything, a few $100." I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, 100% yes. There you go. There's a business right there."
You know what else I think I've always thought about? If all else fails, I can always watch dogs or walk dogs because I love dogs.
Yes.
And you can make a lot of good money, dog
Yes, you
walkers,
can.
watching
Yes, you
dogs and
can.
things. Yeah. So so it
Yes,
literally could be
you can.
anything.
Yes, there's your backup plan. There's a business. I mean, we just brainstorm like two or three businesses in a matter of 5 minutes. There's so many options. Just think about what you naturally like to do, and there's an offline and an online opportunity for that thing. You
Mhm.
just have to open your eyes to it.
So I'm sure that there's people that are watching this right now going, sure, I'd love to have a side hustle. All this sounds great, but who has the time? I'm already so busy. I'm already so stressed. I get home from work. I just can't even think about doing something else. Do you have any advice for those people?
Yeah, there's really two things that I think about when it comes to the time. Like, where do you find the time? One is time blocking. I'm a big proponent of time blocking. My calendar is all color coded. I didn't start that way, by the way. I started I had my clinical schedule, and outside my clinical schedule, it was I tried to fit in the gym, I tried to fit in errands, I tried to fit in some business startup, and it was complete chaos. And very soon I found myself working, on my business until midnight or 1 a.m. And I didn't have a healthy work-life balance, and my relationship was suffering, and family relationships that were suffering. And so I learned that time blocking is critical. And so when I say time blocking, what I mean is setting rituals and routines so that the same day and time I allocate for certain business activities, and other times are dedicated for family time, and other times dedicated for my workout and my mind body. And I try to be as consistent as I can with the time blocking, so that I know if it's a block of time dedicated for business, then my family knows, everybody knows, this is my business block of time. Whether I'm working in my home office or if I'm in a co-working space or wherever I am, they know, don't come looking for me. Don't think that it's going to be a family event during those times. And so and it's same thing with everything else. Family time is family time. My clients, and I don't look at my phone or emails, like that is family time. So I designate and allocate the times, and when it's that time, I focus. I think multitasking is not a healthy way to start a side hustle or to manage your life. Multitasking is you spreading yourself and your energy so thin that you're really not giving full energy to anything, and everything's going to suffer. So I'm a big proponent to allocating and dedicating 100% focus to one thing at a time and having it be consistent. So maybe if you're starting a side hustle, maybe it's Sunday evenings for 2 hours from, 7 to 9 p.m. or something like that. Maybe so it's just consistent and everybody in your family knows and it's not interfering with clinic time. And maybe that's how you start. And then you add a few other blocks of time during the day. Maybe it's your lunch hours or something. And so you just are consistent. And then when it's family time and it's not business. And then if for those that feel overwhelmed, well, what about the family? Like the kids are going here and there, and there's so many things going on. In that note, I always remind people, what is your time worth? Meaning if you broke down your salary and bonus structure, your total compensation by hour as a PA, probably getting paid somewhere between like 70 to $100 an hour, something in that ballpark. That's the value of our time. So where can you buy your time back? Where can you get the housekeeper, or can you get creative with carpool for some of the soccer games and the activities? Where can you buy back? Can you do grocery delivery? Since COVID, I have not stepped foot in a grocery store. Yes, it cost me a few extra dollars to have grocery delivery, but the same order every week. I just hit, send, and then it shows up. So it cost me a few extra dollars. It's more expensive, but my time is worth it. To go to the market and spend an hour, that's not a good use of my time. I would rather have the groceries delivered and I don't have to spend an hour at the market. So pay attention to where you're spending the time outside of clinical medicine. Where can you time block and where can you invest a little bit of money to buy back the time that you can put into your business that's going to make you more money. You're going to more than pay for the grocery delivery or the housekeeper.
So if people need more help, if they are like, okay, I have this idea, I want to do this, or I still can't figure out what I want to do you guys have resources that help people specifically for doing side hustles or starting a
Yes.
business?
Yes, we do. We have a handful of free videos. They're short snippet videos, and we also have one-on-one coaching available. So private one-on-one. We help people navigate those questions, just like you're saying. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. We help and coach people one-on-one through that process. And then we have 90-day programs that help people from I don't know what to do and I don't know where to start all the way through. Hey, now we actually have a side hustle, that we actually have something that's getting up and running and we're starting to execute. So we have both of those programs available for people that are interested in side hustles. And then we also have more robust programs for PAs interested in opening their own clinic and PAs opening and growing their own business on a bigger scale. So something for everyone.
And you have done these things. You have successfully
Yes.
scaled and become a very successful entrepreneur. So obviously, you have a lot of insight and information that you can share with people.
Yes, it's really my mission to pay it forward. We have a great team at Certified PA Consulting. And so, everybody that we work with on our team and who helps other people have a level of experience themselves. And so they've trained with me. And so whether you're working with me or somebody on our team, you're in great hands to help get you to the next step, to the next level.
So I'll have links down below. And don't forget, Kasey is generous enough to offer a discount for any of the products that you have, right? The discount code will be listed here, and then I'll have it down below in the description box as well. So if you're interested in this, definitely reach out to CPAC and really start your journey moving forward instead of staying stuck in that rut. Thank you so much, Kasey, for joining us today and sharing your wisdom with us and helping people move towards finding those side hustles.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
I love listening to and learning from successful people, and Kasey is no exception. She is a successful serial entrepreneur, and I am so thankful that she took her time to share some things with us today. Now, these courses are not cheap, but I do think they can be so worth it. When you want to travel down a path, it's important to follow somebody who's already been down that path, who can save you time and money and frustrations, but most importantly, who can help you reach your goals. Now, if this doesn't sound right for you, but you're looking for maybe some ways to get out of medicine, maybe transitioning to some non-clinical roles, you can watch these videos here, or you can check out my main channel page and the different playlists I have there, including the non-clinical roles for PAs and NPs. Again, thanks for watching today. As always, take care, stay sane, and I'll see you next time on the Medicine Couch. Bye.